Take the apology sign off your forehead. When someone accuses you, pokes you, drags your name into the hallway for sport, the domesticated impulse is to explain. Explanation looks civilized, but in the arena it is permission-seeking in a pressed shirt. The second you defend yourself, you accept their courtroom, their judge, their rules, and their timing. You do not sanitize your name, you advertise that it needed sanitizing. The Durden move is cleaner and crueler to insecurity. You do not defend yourself. You let silence do the heavy lifting until the echo of their own words bothers them more than your stillness. A man who owns the frame does not apply for permission to exist inside that frame. He decides what the frame is. Defending yourself is frame surrender. You do not correct someone's script about you. You decline the role and continue the scene as yourself. If they call you cold, arrogant, manipulative, you do not sprint toward the innocence. Badge like a boy at roll call. Badges come with leashes, and you did not come here to be walked. Keep your head still. Keep your eyes clear. Lower your breathing until your body stops. Asking for applause. If you must speak, make the words as tight and hard as a closed door. If that's how you see it, the sentence neither confirms nor denies. It declares that your reality does not live inside their label. The need for validation jumps like a spark from your shirt to their hands, and now they are the ones fanning it. Picture the room. A tired AC. Yellow light. A sideways joke tossed at your ribs because someone wants a laugh at the cheapest price on the shelf. Your training says smile, offer a half apology, add a promise to improve. That is the smell of blood. The Durden move is a pause that feels like pulling oxygen out of the air. 2 seconds. Scan exits. Relax your shoulders. Let the joke die in silence. If you use a word, use one that ends scenes instead of starting them. Interesting. The syllables are not a rebuttal. They are a lid. The would-be comedian now has to explain his comedy. Laughter migrates to discomfort and then to quiet. You did not win a debate. You ended a ritual. Some people will mistake this gravity for emptiness. It is not empty. It is dense. You are creating deliberate space between impact and reply. Inside that space lives the decision you intend to make. The world will always try to sell you a contract to prove you are good. Tyler never bargained in good. He bargained in control. Control is refusal to accept the accuser's frame. Control is the migration of conflict from noise to paper, from gossip to numbers, from the corridor to the room with minutes and signatures. Control is declining the invitation to wrestle in the mud and showing up with criteria, deadlines, owners, acceptance tests. People who survive on confusion melt when the lights get bright and the labels get specific. In intimacy, the rule does not change, it grows a heart. Someone says you don't care, and the old self recites a frantic sermon, stacks. Promises like sandbags, invites an audit of your soul. The Durden angle does not deny the feeling and does not feed the theater. Let the sentence land completely. When you speak, you do it like stone speaks. That is not how I see it. No sermon, no smirk. The energy returns to its source. If the person came for a stage, the lack of a stage will end the show. Only when the need to win applause drains from the room can a conversation begin. Workplace attacks wear shirts and smiles. I am not sure this was well thought out. He is always bringing bold ideas. The trap wants your breath to speed up, so you supply detail, reason, and proof for an audience that did not pay for tickets. Lean back instead of forward. Give time the job of walking toward you. If you open your mouth, open it to flip gravity. What do you propose? Now the provocateur must produce. Your stillness reads like a receipt of competence. The attack unmasks itself. It was never a search for a solution. It was a bid for attention. Without an audience, bids die. The room shifts from theater to work, and many performers discover they were rehearsing, not building. On the internet, venom scales with engagement metrics. They want to trap you in a confession thread. They want you to donate paragraphs that clear their conscience. You do not feed the machine. No defenses. No manifestos. If you post frames, not protests. They call dangerous what they cannot control. You are not arguing. You are naming the game out loud. The pointer loses its gesture and becomes a mirror. Crowds develop a nose for who builds and who begs. In the square, silence reads as guilt when it grows from fear. When it grows from strength, it reads as aura. The difference is not in decibels, but in posture. Disappearing is the advanced play, not the rage block and not the scorched earth reply. Quiet absence. The vacuum labors for you. People who require your response will compose it on your behalf, and they will do it poorly. They will over-explain. They will repeat themselves. They will climb volume like a ladder to nowhere. While they burn calories, you lift, you deliver, you sleep. The reputation that matters is not the nice one. It is the strong one. Nice comes with a manual of obedience. Strong arrives with a peace treaty that says think twice before you try me. Once they learn you do not play defense on demand, they quit throwing stage. Punches. You do not need slogans, but you can carry a scalpel for quick closures. When someone calls you full of yourself, confidence disturbs the unsure, ends the scene. Without drawing blood. When someone calls you fake, I do not owe authenticity to people who demand. Approval locks the drawer and turns off the light. These are not banners to wave. They are handles to close doors. You are not proving yourself to the hallway. You are making the wall too smooth to climb. Old culture will tell you to defend your name because that sounds honorable. The trick hidden in the advice is that the sprint to defend implies a debt. The Durden swap is justice traded for gravity. Behavior repeated long enough hardens into steel that rumor cannot dent. You speak less and deliver more, and silence fills with the right assumption. He could respond, but he does not need to. Balanced people in the room will start adding weight to your side of the scale, without you asking. That was exaggerated. He did not answer, and you are still going. The shield you never requested is better than the sword you keep swinging. Strength and immunity live on different floors. Strength still reacts, still steps in, still bleeds a little when necessary. Immunity does not recognize the invitation. The blow lands on a surface that does not accept ink. That is the ideal when the accusations are theatrical. You do not win the argument because the argument never begins. For it to begin, it needs your signature stating that you recognize the court. You never sign, so court is adjourned before roll call. This is not stonewalling truth. When you break something, fix it. When you owe, pay. When you misread the field, say it once, cleanly, and return to quiet. Repair is not defense. Repair is action that ends the scene without applause. Defense is noise that hopes to purchase peace. One closes your mouth. The other closes the loop. Choose the loop. There is a narrow line between calm and contempt, and you do not cross it if you enjoy sleeping well. Do not weaponize stillness to humiliate people. Humiliation manufactures enemies who keep long ledgers. Calm manufactures gravity. Gravity attracts respect and repels nonsense. With time, people learn that you accept facts and clarity, not tantrum and theater. Those who can adapt will adapt. Those who cannot will select themselves out of your circle. The room becomes better by subtraction. If you need a line for the week, carry this coin in your mouth. Noted. Say it once, evenly. When a swipe dressed up as feedback glances off your shirt. If substance exists, the other side will put it on the table. If nothing exists, the moment dies on contact and the air clears. Pair that with one posture rule you never break. Keep your head level, your shoulders heavy, your hands quiet. It reads as I am not auditioning. It reads as the price of my attention is clarity. Raise your floor, or you will waste your life chasing ceiling lights that keep moving. People attack what they think they can move. The more you deliver, the less you explain. The more you keep your word, the less you narrate your intentions. The more you choose documented rooms with times and owners, the less you get, dragged into hallways with spectators and fog machines. Most storms require your sail to exist. Lower the mast and let the weather spend itself. Never defend yourself does not mean pretend you are perfect. It means do not live inside stories written by small hands. Fix what is true. Ignore what is bait. Move the arena to clarity, or leave the arena intact and walk away. When stones are thrown and no sound comes back except the echo of the thrower, people stop throwing. That is the trick. That is the leverage. That is the man who does not audition for approval because he is busy. Setting terms. Now listen closely because posture without practice is costume. Practice is where the gravity grows bones. Start with your mornings. Wake before your first demand and borrow 10 silent minutes from a world that will spend the rest of the day trying to rent your attention by the hour. Sit. Breathe through your nose. Count down from 50 and watch your thoughts walk by like strangers. That is your rehearsal for silence under pressure. In meetings, the silence will already belong to you before anyone else discovers it. Exists. Then move iron. Strength is proof you can hold tension without shaking. Pull, push, hinge, squat. Do not lift for mirrors. Lift so your nervous system learns what calm feels like when the load wants to make you panic. Walk out of the gym the same way you walked in. No victory dance. No selfie. You are not performing progress. You are banking it. The interest is paid out later as stillness when someone tempts you to explain yourself. Write for 5 minutes every night before your sleep. Not your feelings. Your frames. What game am I in? Who is the scorekeeper? What is the minimum acceptable outcome for me? What would be an elegant way to shift incentives by 1 inch? Writing is the discipline of removing fog from your own head. A clear head does not donate paragraphs to accusations because a clear head is busy building outcomes. Rehearse lines that fit your teeth. If that's how you see it is good. Noted is good. That won't work for me is good. Use them like hammers with tiny heads. One hit. No follow-up taps. You are building a reputation for finality. People who want to fish for explanations will learn that your lake is frozen most days and that when it thaws, it only does so for people who bring facts. Choose arenas carefully. Hallways are for gossip and ambushes. Rooms with tables and documents are for decisions. The more you live at tables, the less you spend time in halls proving yourself to people who trade in wind. Bring numbers to the table. Bring dates. Bring owners. Bring acceptance criteria phrased so a child could understand. When an accusation meets that kind of weather, it cannot take root. It floats, looks for dirt, and finds tile. Keep your phone out of your hand when your name is under attack. Your pulse is not a good author. Go do a set of push-ups or drink water or walk downstairs and back. Think with your legs for 3 minutes. Then decide whether a reply would move the world or merely move your mood. Build a life where your default is to do and your exception is to narrate. Narration invites debate. Doing invites completion. Understand the economics of attention. Every defense is a gift of energy to the person who hit you. Every gift teaches a lesson. You are not Santa. You are a vault. The vault opens for contracts, not for complaints. If someone truly needs repair, they get repair. If someone wants theater, they get the boredom of a man who refuses to juggle. You will be told that silence is guilt. In weak rooms, sometimes it is. In strong rooms, silence is posture. The difference is whether you can afford stillness. If your work is solid, your relationships honest, your body disciplined, your accounts in, order, your stillness reads like a loaded pause, not an empty mute. Most people cannot afford stillness because they are behind in every bill that matters. They pay with explanations, and explanations have terrible interest rates. Learn the choreography of your face. Keep your jaw unclenched and your eyes soft. You do not glare. You do not shrink. You look like someone who has eliminated sugar from his language. When you do speak, keep vowels short and consonants clean. You are not reciting a case. You are closing a window. Your body will want to fill the silence with extras. Do not let it. Extras are the enemy. Extras turn a clean cut into a ragged tear. When accusation carries truth, you do not hide behind silence. You repair and accept the bruise. You do it once, directly, and you do not campaign for applause afterward. I missed that. Fixed now. You do not swear it will never happen again because your mouth is not a fortune teller. You simply stop making the same mistake. The room learns. The rumor mill has nothing to grind because there is no grain in your pockets. Mentally rehearse the hardest room in your week. See your name come up. See the cheap line fly. Watch yourself not move. Let the 2 seconds of pause stretch until the other person's nervous laughter makes them blink first. Then see yourself asking the one question that moves the load off your chest and onto the table. What is the proposal? Keep doing that until your nervous system considers this response boring. Boredom is the sign you have turned theater into administration. Administration is where power lives because administration decides the next 10 steps. There is a temptation to turn this into a costume. Leather jacket, smolder, cheek cut, cigarette. The costume is fun for posters. The work is quieter and it stains the inside of your ribs. The work is letting provocations die of neglect while you stack outcomes. The work is ignoring strangers and tightening your loop with the 2 or 3 people who can tell you uncomfortable truth without trying to score points. The work is not to look dangerous. The work is to be unshakable. You will lose friends to this gravity. They were not friends. They were contracts where you rented your dignity for company. When the rent goes up and the dignity comes home, tenants move out. Let them. The space they leave behind is not empty. It is air that your lungs needed. What fills that space later is not louder. It is heavier. You will know the difference by the way your shoulders drop when they enter the room. If you are waiting for permission to begin, this is it. For the next month, refuse to explain yourself to anyone who aims at your character without bringing facts, timelines, or ownership. Replace explanations with clean repairs when you are wrong and with clean exits when the frame is rotten. Watch how many storms die in the mouth that brewed them. Watch how many invitations to brawl turn into invitations to think. Watch how the air around your name gets colder and clearer, and how that clarity turns every room into a place where work happens faster. Never defend yourself, not because you are flawless, but because you refuse to live as a defendant. In courts that never close, use silence like a tool, presence like a lever, and clarity like a light that dissolves theater. When they throw a stone and the only sound they hear is their own echo, coming back slower and heavier than it left, they stop throwing. That is the trick. That is the leverage. That is the man who does not beg for permission and does not audition for belonging. He sets terms. He walks his day, and he lets silence collect payment while he builds the next thing.
The first rule